As I was drafting my speaking notes, I actually went back and took a peek at my first speech of this roundtable 6 years ago in 2012. Back then, we had just been selected by the Shaktinese Consortium to the final round of the competition for the selection of the Southern Gas Corridor route into the European markets. And at that time, as many of you may remember, very, very few international observers thought that TAP and the Greek route stood much of a chance to be selected. We, of course, believed it, and so did our Greek partners. So it's with quite some happiness that today, 6 years later, I'm happy to stand before such a distinguished audience again and affirm that the TAP project, the Greek route, is progressing with the construction very, very well. As I speak, there are more than 3,000 people out there realizing the construction of the project. We have already cleared and graded 324 out of our 550 kilometers of pipeline route on Greek soil. And this is a little over 1 year after inaugurating the project. And we've just welcomed the new managing director in Switzerland, Luca Schiapatti, who will now take the project through the final stage of construction and into operations. So in simple words, we're on schedule, the works are progressing really well, and first gas will be in Europe in 2020. Now, I don't mean to say this too much in a self-congratulatory manner, but I want to use it to lead in to a number of highlights that I want to emphasize and what we consider have been the key success factors. It's collaboration, it is safety, and it is seizing the opportunities. So I just address them very briefly, but in the reversed order. On the opportunity, as you know, we of course focus on just building the TAP pipeline, but we are of course very attentive to all the opportunities that a project like TAP can bring in terms of being a catalyst for a number of other initiatives in the energy sector that will further strengthen Greece's role and also build on the European objectives of security of supply and energy diversity. So we're already collaborating with a number of these initiatives, and like most of you in the audience, I'm quite excited to hear about all the positive development that's going on now in this respect. Secondly, safety. This is our primary focus and something that we will never, ever compromise on. Let me share with you some data. To date, we have completed over 13 million man-hours of work in Greece without any major work-related incidents. Our teams across northern Greece have traveled more than 30 million kilometers, and we haven't had any major traffic event. I'm emphasizing the latter point because road safety is particularly important for us, given the simple expanse of the project and the loads that we're carrying. Yes, we of course have very strict rules for our staff and our contractors, etc., but to optimize health and safety, you really need to take a holistic approach. What about the kids and the teenagers, the racers on the road? So I just want to give an example of how we have addressed some of these things. Last year and this year, for example, we actually invested in conducting specific seminars in the schools across the 3 prefectures where we're operating, and it allowed us to reach out to over 25,000 students, young individuals, to discuss behavior in traffic, road safety. So if there is something that we are very proud of today, it is this safety record. Which takes me to my third point, maybe last, but certainly not least: cooperation and collaboration. Many of you, through our partnerships, have come to know us quite well. So you know that our philosophy towards collaboration is a key element of what really drives our work. It's based on trust, and it's based on respect, and it exists at all levels. At the national level, the support that we enjoy by the Hellenic Republic, the Hellenic Parliament, and a number of subsequent governments can only be characterized as outstanding. So this is an important aspect to share with other future and present investors. What I want to talk about is a collaboration not only on the national level, but also locally. Because I think this is where our approach really stands out. As has been referenced, the Southern Gas Corridor is a huge endeavor. It's 6 countries and is $45 billion investment. But what's really been important is then for us to figure out how do we translate and transfer all these geostrategic national benefits to the local and even individual levels. We don't have too much time, but I want to mention that this is why we, for example, have actually decided to invest a dedicated 32 million euros to set up and implement a very comprehensive community investment program across Greece. It's a hugely aspirational initiative. It's certainly not the easiest way to do things, but we are convinced that it's the right way. We have already invested in 45 of these program initiatives, and I was particularly pleased last week when I had the opportunity to be on another platform and share a full day with the 3 regional governors and a number of mayors, where we announced jointly one of the key elements of this, which was the investment of 9 million euros into ambulances, forestry vehicles, snowplows, and a number of other items that will serve all the citizens along our pipeline route, and also greatly facilitate the works of all those people who effortlessly are protecting health, well-being, and the environment. I have a little thing blinking, so I'm going to wrap up now, but if there's 2 things I want to leave you with, and this is very dear to us, is 1, we're progressing really well, we're on schedule, we're benefiting from really excellent collaboration at all levels, national, regional, as well as local, and also emphasize that it is perfectly possible, through dedication and hard work, to not only realize the huge geostrategic elements of TAP and the Southern Gas Corridor, but also to do that in a way that can translate these benefits to local and even individual levels. Thank you very much for your attention.